Understanding the gacha in Dragon Traveler has been probably very confusing for some people, especially with the 2 extra gachas that you're going to have access to, the mythical summons and as well as the wish summons. So I want to take the time to actually dive into this and explain it. How exactly does it work and intertwine into your account, and what types of progression can you basically get out of this based off of the type of player that you're going to be, right? So let's go ahead and let's dive into it. Starting off with obviously the luminary summons. The luminary summons obviously are our standard pools, okay? Now, a couple of things to note with this, okay? If you're new to the game and you're trying to figure out how this gacha works or what you need to keep in mind, okay, that in order for you to initially unlock the wish list, you have to do 300 pulls, okay? Now, before then, you're just basically going to be pulling. You have a chance to get an SSR plus at a 0.8% chance, and then you're going to have access to SSRs at a 2.1% chance, and then obviously your SRs are going to be at a 12% base appearance, and then you'll have rares, which are going to be at a 50% base appearance, okay? So with that being said, there's a couple of things that happens with this. Once you hit 300 pulls, you will, like I mentioned, unlock the ability to use the wish list. Now, the thing is that as far as what you can wish list, it's based around what you have currently unlocked. Now, if you see that you have things that are locked, it says when your class reaches level tier 2, 1, right? That means that you need to be in the resonance system. So this is past level 100 and past tier 1 at that point, okay? So now being at tier 2, level 1 is going to be a requirement to unlock these said characters right here. And then one of the last characters, which is the Wishing Genie, you're going to need to perform 800 pulls. Now, depending on if you're free to play or a spender, you may have or may have not already done this. At that point, you can then expand what you can select on your wish list, okay? Now, as far as what you can select on your wish list, again, it could be any of the SSR pluses that you have unlocked and or any of the SSRs that you have unlocked. Keep in mind that this is going to be basically dividing up that percentage. So the percentage of what makes your SSR pluses in the pool is going to be divided amongst these as far as 20% each. And then there is an off rate up chance. It's a 20 percentile on its own chance that you'll be able to, if you hit that less than 1% where it's an SSR plus, that it will be something you did not put on your wish list. And same thing with this, it is going to be all divided up, and then there's going to be a percentage where it is a chance that is the off rate up unit. So yes, if you have a wish list, it is still possible that you will not get exactly what you wish list, but you do have a pretty fair chance at being able to do so, okay? So very, very straightforward in how that works. Now, the other thing that's really important is that when you're also looking at the guarantee, okay, it is every 40 pulls, you're guaranteed 1 SSR or higher, okay? So very, very cheap. And then again, it is, open. So it's technically not really a 50-50. It's more so like a 20, right? But again, that's math, right? Now, going into the limited summon, obviously you've been pulling on this from the very beginning. Every 50 pulls, it is guaranteed to give you the SSR plus unit that is on the banner. Great thing about these banners is there's no 50-50, and you're not pulling for against any other units, right? So your percentile is straight into this character. Now, you can proc it early or at the pity, right? But it is always going to be guaranteed in that 50 pulls. Now, the other thing that's really nice about this banner, if you did not know, is that they share pities. So if you have 43 summons on Mirrorless's banner, you also have 43 summons on Ifrit's banner, and vice versa. Any banner that comes in with these are going to be shared pities, all right? Now, with that being said, the next thing we're going to be jumping into is the Mythic banner, okay? Let's actually talk about this. So there's a couple of different things that you want to keep in mind with the Mythic banner. Number one, you are going to be picking one of 4 characters, whichever character that you decide to pick. And this is one thing that we actually talked about a little bit in our live stream, as far as like free to play versus, what unit is a little bit more pay to win versus what's a little bit more arena focused versus PvE focused, etc. But despite that, you're going to pick whatever option you're going for. And what that does is it puts you in this position. So let's confirm, where you'll then see the character on the banner. And you will basically have the opportunity every time you get to X milestone, it will basically have phase rewards where it will give you the shards of that character, ultimately up until 300 pulls. Now, the rule here is that it will, with the Mythic summon, grant shards of the selected SSR EX Luminary. Each summon additionally rewards 5 to 9 Wishing Lilies, okay? So keep in mind, Wishing Lilies are very, very important. Now, the thing that's actually important here as well is that you can switch your chosen luminary at any time, but it is basically going to be allowing you to occur and collect shards. Keep in mind, in order for you to get a full character, you need to have 60 shards. Okay, so that is basically what this banner is going to be allowing you to do. You're also going to be getting something called substitute dial fragments. This is basically a universal material or like dial that will allow you to basically use them as fodder. They're a little bit different than slimes because they're going to be class specific a lot of the times when you see them. This one is probably going to be neutral is going to be specific to whatever Hades is. But a lot of times if you're like using the system to like actually remove the stars off of the characters, the star rewind, it will basically give you these based off of the class type of the unit so that you're never wasting fodder, right? So that is basically what that is. You also have the chance to also, at a very, very rare chance, get diamonds, right? Like you could proc 30k diamonds off of this. It's a very, very small chance, but it can happen. You have a 0.1% chance for 8,888 diamonds, and you also have a 0.5% chance for 3,000 diamonds, right? So that is that. Now, the thing is that, like I mentioned, you're going to be getting another resource called Wishing Lilies. Wishing Lilies are very important because, let me explain this as best as I possibly can. This is probably the thing that most people get confused on because it's not very straightforward or forthcoming in how it is explained. Simply put, okay, the best way to explain this is that you are going to have X resource here, which is the Wishing Lily, okay? You are going to need 50 Wishing Lilies, as you can see here, where it says Refresh Wish Zone, in order to get a chance to get a random enemy or a random ally, right? So a random unit, right? Now, if we're actually looking here at the Wish Luminary, this is going to be a system where you are able to, for whatever character you've unlocked at this entire point of your grind or in the future, whatever character you've unlocked, you will basically be able to wish for that character. So on this screen, this is just showing all of the SSRs and SSR pluses and also SSR EXs if I had any. It would show them all right here, okay? So you pick the one that you want and then you confirm, okay? What happens is that every time you do a refresh with the Wish Stone, it is going to give you 5 points to add up to that 50 points, which means that in order for you to get 50 points, you have to do this process a total of 10 times. Now, to guarantee the character or to get the character at that 50 points, it is then going to require you to do it one more time. So in total, it's about 11 times for you to be able to guarantee that when you hit exchange here, it is, when you hit the refined Wish Stone, it is going to be the character that you selected here, okay? So one thing that you'll notice is that it says SSR pluses require 50 wish points. That is also including SSRs. And then it also is going to be at 200 wish points for an SSR EX is what they're going to require, okay? So that means that at that point, you're doing this process 40 times for 200 points and 10 times for 50 points, okay? So very, very simple there. Now, the part that's really important to remember is when you are trying to exchange, it is going to basically give you the opportunity to consume a character that you have on your account at their base and then allow you to exchange it for whatever picture of the character that's being shown here, okay? Now, if we look at the wish rate, you'll see here, it could be any random 5-star luminary in the game, SSR quality or higher, and then whatever you respectively have unlocked. Keep in mind, this is going to require me to be at tier 2, level 1, in order to get these units to appear possibly randomly, okay? So just kind of keep that in mind. You have to unlock X unit for those to show up. Now, the other thing that's really important as well is Genie is accessible here, whereas on the other banner, you actually have to do 800 pulls. So that is kind of one of those things where it's a little bit of an exemption, I guess. But for the other banner, you have to do 800 pulls, okay? Now, the other part that's actually really important about this is that leading up to that 50 points, you are basically going to be getting different units. You can choose to hit the refresh wish stone. You do not have to actually exchange every single time. Now, with that all being said, what is the premise of you using this? Why exactly is this a good feature and function? Basically, okay, what it's doing is the game is filtering out and giving you the opportunity to use a gacha to filter out bad things on your account to get either new things or new bases that you may not have, so that you can either add them to your wish list or to get dupes of characters that you are trying to develop. There are two different ways that you can kind of utilize this, but it is also going to depend and be relevant to what type of player you are, whether you're a spender or free to play. Those are essentially the two main ways that you can really take advantage of this type of banner. Now, the other thing, like just kind of mentioning, like one of the characters that I actually gave away was my Gorgon, and I ended up getting the Dark Elemental. So now, because I have that base, I can actually go and select her for the guarantee if I want her for the guarantee, okay? So that was what I actually ended up doing. And the cool thing is that even if you no longer have copies, it will, like I said, it's based off of whatever units you've ever had in your lifetime of your account, okay? So it is not something that you have to have concurrent on your account. It is actually a very, very simple system. Unfortunately, when you look at the description for it, it is a little confusing, and it's not very straightforward. Now, another thing that's really important to note with this too as well is that it needs to be a base 5-star or 6-star. So it cannot be like a purple, star rarity or, or higher when you're trying to use it for exchange, but that is okay because you have a system here. If we go to our luminary and we go to, let's go to star upgrade, and we can go to star reset, okay? So if you have anybody that's sitting at purple stars, this is what it was referring to as far as that resource to substitute dial. It will give you back and spit back out the base 6-star unit, and then it will give you the substitute dial of that respective class so that you could dump that into another character of that respective class, okay? So the one thing that's really important to note with this system, though, is that you cannot reset your SSR or above luminaries after they reach max stars. So you basically have 18 copies to decide whether or not you want to use them for this type of system, which, if I'm being honest, that is a very, very long time and a lot of opportunity, especially if you're free to play. Spenders, maybe a whole nother thing, but at that point, if you're maxing out the unit, you're not really struggling with resources. So that's kind of that, right? But all in all, through and through, that is the easiest way to simplify the gacha. I hope that allows you guys to be able to better understand it. Again, make sure that you guys like and subscribe to the channel for more Dragon Traveler content. And as well, make sure you guys come through to the Twitch, twitch.tv/Zox Fam. We are doing a free-to-play God series where we are pushing with zero money and seeing how far we can get. We are currently doing really well, and I'll probably have a video up, if not already, showcasing the current progression for each day and what we're doing. So make sure you guys check that out so that you can get more insight on how you can push. So that's going to be that with this one, guys. All of you guys stay blessed, and I'll catch you guys in the next.